Hi, so you're about to embark on your project, you're about to engage the builder, and you've spoken to his previous clients, they're all delighted, you've been recommended to them, so you're really happy with that. You've gone to see some of their finished work and you're really happy. So all intents and purposes, and you've even probably got a contract in place. What is one quick tip that you can do to make sure that you have kind of ascertained whether your builder, you're going to be comfortable working with your builder? The thing that we always recommend is ask to speak to an architect that they've worked with. Why? Well, fundamentally, you can look at a finished piece of work, it can look beautiful, but a lot of the building work and the key infrastructure in a building is what is behind. And we want to ensure that what is behind has been followed accurately against some drawings, and the builder is used to working against drawings, because if they're not, what are you going to hold them against? If you are working in a sort of contractual basis with a contract and some drawings that refer to a price, together, collectively, those things then mean that your builder should be working to those things. So we always tend to ask at that point, can we have the details of an architect that you've worked with? And the builders that are comfortable with that and have worked with drawings and specifications and used to working with a contract and meeting a specification, no problem. Here's an architect that we've worked with historically. The builders that are, I don't really work with an architect, or my architect never comes to see my work, or and it always rings alarm bells for us, primarily because yes, the building industry isn't vetted, so anybody can become a builder. But ultimately, what are they working against? So are they just sort of incrementally increasing prices based on some loose drawings, or have they got a technician just doing some drawings for them? So kind of, you want to query that. It's not that that builder isn't competent necessarily, but we would then start to put some additional measures in place, such as going to see some of their existing construction sites, making sure that they're following all sort of procedures, health and safety aspects in that regard. So we've done that before when a builder did say, oh, I'm perfectly capable of doing this job. I've done loads of jobs like this before. We went to see one of their projects that were on site, and we could see that damp-proof membrane wasn't sat at 150 above ground level, which is the minimum sort of requirement to stop sort of water ingress and to meet the regulations, which for me is a red flag, which you wouldn't necessarily always see at the end of a project when it's completed. So those sort of things, if the health and safety side of it isn't being followed, or people aren't wearing all of their proper kit on site, all of those things, you would be liable as a customer if an accident were to happen under the CDM regulations, if certain protocols weren't followed, because the HSE then comes down quite heavy on these things. So it's kind of key to either understand, do they work with architects regularly? And if they do, then they will have that relationship to understand, and you kind of speak to the architect. Are you happy with them? Are they competent? Do you feel confident that they'll be able to do the work? And do you go and inspect their work? So there's no point in the architect just providing drawings and then the architect never sees the work whilst it's on site. What you want is clearly an architect that is working closely with the builder through the building process to make sure that all of the work that has been specified is being undertaken. And at that stage, you can probably feel a little bit more at ease that what you are actually getting is what it says on the drawings, rather than a false economy where a builder changes the specification and puts a lesser product in, because the reality is you're probably not going to know the difference between A and B. And you want to be in that situation where actually if something is going a little bit left or right, if you like, that you can catch it at the outset. And a trained professional will probably be able to do that better than yourselves. And that's where you probably want to speak to somebody at that point. I hope that's useful. So the tip in a nutshell is, if you're happy with the builder, you've done all the vetting process, ask to speak to one of their architects, because that will kind of summarize whether or not they are capable of undertaking the works to the level that you're expecting.